Yes, that is correct. I am finally changing the bearings on these wheels. We've been struggling for the last 3 or 4 months to push the crush around because I haven't got round to it. But finally, I've ordered them. The only trouble is they can be a nightmare to get out. This one is slightly, done. I'm not sure you would describe me as a precision engineer, or even an engineer at all. But we're getting there. I feel slightly bad at not getting these done before now, especially because Craig said today, I'm really excited about getting new bearings in the wheels. Should anybody ever be excited about getting bearings in their wheels? It possibly makes me a bad boss, the fact that he is excited about that. Anyway, it is happening. My heart sank there a little bit. There for the front wheels, I think. Beautiful. What? Spot the problem? Oh, I really hope I'm being stupid here and they haven't sent me the wrong ones. Nope, they've sent me the wrong ones. No comment. Oh, I'll finish this one and see if I can find some other bearings anywhere. Okay, turns out they didn't send me the wrong ones. I just missed 2 boxes. Does anyone else do that? I literally, when I'm looking for something, it can be right in front of me, but I'm so busy looking for it that I'm looking in the small areas and I miss the big picture. Does that make sense? Happens to me all the time. Story of my life. It's too big for the hole. And that's better. Lovely.
It's like my front door is glowing this morning.
Always a good sign.
Here's Graeme in his little red car, look.
He's special in so many ways, isn't he?
Well, today's the day. Today is the day. Are you excited?
What do you mean?
You joking?
I think you're talking about putting them stobs in, aren't you?
He thinks that I'm talking about Ashley's mother's fence, which we should be doing today, but we're not because Alice is coming. I did something out of the goodness of my heart yesterday.
Yeah,
and you said you were excited about it, and now I've done it, and you're not even bothered.
I was excited about it actually. First thing I looked at when I first went in the shed was to see if you'd done it. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy, yeah.
And I did it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Well done.
Told you he was excited.
It might be a different story when you're driving along and it falls off.
No, it's not the wheels on the... We don't drive along with it like that.
It's the crush wheels.
It's the crush wheels, yes. Look, come on, show us.
My pyjamas.
Your pyjamas? Look how cool your pyjamas are. You're obsessed. What did you just say is on your fingers?
Grease.
Oh, so you're moaning now that I have grease in your fingers?
I knew you were going to do that.
Moans that I don't fix it, moans that I do fix it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll pick you up. They have a head gate on their little race here that we need to move out of the way first. You're talking
right far past my shoulder.
Does that look easy?
That never happens when we move it, eh?
In our defence, yes, that looked difficult, but we're pushing uphill. They are much easier, aren't they?
There's usually 3 of us pushing it, that was actually a lot easier.
And there's usually 3 of us as well. So we do have rather a number of cows to do. There's actually only 33 there. There's only 33, but the farmer here usually gets more from the dry cow shed as well. Dry cows are cows which are very close to the calving, so they get dried off and they stop milking them so that they can they call it bag up, so basically they can build up their energy for calving and the milk comes into them in a bigger way. Right, let's get these cows in. This should be good. Come by! I'm here, so they should actually go in nice and easily. Go guys! Just takes one to stop, and the one at the front, predictably, has stopped because it can see the crush up the front, so it's a bit scared. Go on! Alright, Andrew. Go on! Alright, yeah, good. Come on, lads. Come on! Hey! Move up! Hey! Come on, girls, come on! Right, Graeme. Bend over.
Put Craig on with this one.
Time for your rectal exam, buddy.
He's already got
Aye, he on the bend,
He's already got his gloves on. You look too excited for that. Yeah. Little bit of overgrowth on this first cow. Her feet, that is. Don't worry, love. I won't comment about your weight. Lovely. Perfect cow to start with. We're really pushing behind. You can hear them slipping all over the place, trying to push against each other. front feet were a lot more overgrown than the back feet, weren't they? I want this as deep as we can get it, really. The deeper you get that, and the more relief the cow gets from that area, and the less bruising they get as a result. Lovely. Next cow. Cow comes straight out of the crush here in such a rush, almost did the splits and went everywhere. You hate that. They're so fantastic at hurting themselves, and it's the last thing you want, obviously. That goes without saying. This isn't as perfect a hoof. Got some kind of tyloma up in between her feet. If we come round to the other side, we'll be able to see a little bit better. I think we're going to need a block on this. So a tyloma is a growth up in between their feet, but weirdly they can get called lots of different things. So a tyloma, a granuloma, a hyperplasia, a growth. And this foot will be sore because of it. Her feet are so tight together. If I drop that down and open them up, you can see this growth up in between her feet. You can see her whole foot's kind of deformed, and all this will be really, really sort of tender and sore. So we'll put a block on here just to get the weight up off that. Do you want to get that ready, please, Craig? Yep. A large wooden one. So we can't really do much by trimming this, but what we can do is we can get the weight off it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. This isn't a problem that can be fixed, really. It's just the nature of the beast. You can see, so I just skimmed over this just to clean it off a little bit. But you can see this whole heel area is bulbous and enlarged. So there's no way we can get the weight off this with trimming alone. This can happen for lots of different reasons, to be honest. The cow might have been ill at some point, she might have had digital dermatitis, she might have had a problem on the axial wall, and you get hypergrowth. And basically what happens is the inside of a cow's hoof is dense, and in between their feet, obviously above the ankle, is more tissue. But what is not between the feet? Tissue, or anything for that matter. So when there's hypergrowth in there, hyperplasia, it grows down the way and develops into this finger-like growth. It doesn't look like a finger here, but sometimes they'll literally come right down and dangle out the bottom of the foot and inhabit that whole area. So every time the cow steps, she steps on this little growth, which can be immensely sore. Tyloma 2, Craig's asking in the background what that is.
Just so I can put it in the pad. That's done. Oh. It's done now.
You can see, this is how you deal with a cow like this. You can see on this foot here that she's been trimmed just a couple of months ago. So this cow will get trimmed much more regularly than other cows. And that's to look after this foot here on our back left. So basically, we can't fix it, but we can manage the situation by trying to keep the weight off that sort of, what's the word, Graeme? that vulnerable area.
Vulnerable area. You're welcome.
Yes, well done. So if we look right up in between our feet, you'll get a really good look at this tyloma or hyperplasia or whatever you want to call it. Right now it's actually got dermatitis on it as well, which we'll need to spray. That is why it's so sore up in there. The second cow's done exactly the same thing. They're just so keen to get away from the crush that they're just spinning and slipping. And this one's pulled the belly bands apart. Luckily they're easy to fix, and that is actually then fixed. Lovely. Bit of a poor start. Got a bit of an issue on her back right foot. Oh, wow, she got really, really stiff ankles. Actually, it's not long since that's been done. Just want to model out this area again as deeply as we can to get relief from that part there that's being bruised. Right, that's sore, that, isn't it? I should just grab the cloth here and give it a bit of a wipe off. So you can see this cow has had a really big white line problem at some point. Oh wow, there you go, she's had two problems actually. So she's got a bit of an ulcer on this inner claw here and a white line problem here. Sole ulcer, 2 on the inside claw, white line 1 on the outside claw.
How do you ken when you've not dug in yet?
Experience, Graeme, experience. So she's got an ulcer here. I would say an old ulcer, but it's an ulcer that's has been treated, and a white line problem here. But I think that is still slightly open, and that is definitely still slightly open. So when you've got a problem on both feet, obviously you can't just block one, because then you're going to make this one sore, aren't you? And the block will go over the top. So you need to be a little bit creative sometimes. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and trim away as much from round about this. Oh, foot down! Trim away as much as we can from round about this ulcer, and she kicks right on cue, just to see what we're working with and to get the weight away from it as much as we can. Even if this has completely healed, we'll still need to keep the weight away from it, obviously, because it'll be really thin. Try going up the way now. down that axial wall. Okay, so it's looking pretty good, isn't it? But so it's kind of healed, but it's still sticking out. So obviously that is going to cause pressure and therefore pain. If we just come around this side and point in at an angle, you can actually see that it's sticking out. If you come further around, Graeme, and you see that it's actually sticking out, it's protruding. Look, if I press it, it's soft. So it's, yes, it has healed, but it's right on the cusp or the edge of still being a problem. And if we just put a block on there, obviously it's going to hurt, isn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to use an adapted horseshoe block, and we're going to glue it on right round the outside of this cow's foot here. So we need to clean it all off first. So you would see there that I'm removing minuscule pieces of hoof horn. I'm really just getting rid of the dirty, ingrained hoof horn on the outside. Otherwise, there's no chance the glue will stick properly for the duration that we need it to stick. So we've just looked in the computer, and it was us that trimmed this cow's foot, and she's been trimmed 3 times before, so it's taken a bit of work to get here. So this is an iron block. It's a horseshoe. It's a polyurethane horseshoe. And obviously, if we tried to put that on there, the cow would walk and it would eventually prise off. So what we're going to do is we're going to split it right down the middle here, and then we'll just use one side on here. Right. Pull up. Go up. And they split so easily, look.
Hang on. Right, try it again.
Watch that knife doesn't slip and Craig.
That's why I moved.
They are polyurethane, but they're called iron blocks for a reason. Right, so now we've got half a horseshoe, and it's going to sit on there, lovely look, and it's going to completely avoid all this area, but it's still going to lift this foot and make it higher, which in turn will lift this up off the ground. With these iron blocks though, you need to use a huge amount of glue, because obviously they don't have as much surface area on the base to stick to the cow's foot.
Why are you burning it?
I'm burning it because there's a releasing agent. So when these are put in the mould, they spray the moulds with a releasing agent, and that leaves a residue on the polyurethane itself, which isn't very adhesive. Right, load me up. Pile it on. Lovely. Right, so while that's drying, so we call that set up, so now I can let go of it, but it's not, look, it's still pliable. That will go rock hard, and when it's rock hard, that's it, completely cured, obviously. Right, on with the trim. So we want to get rid of all these little pieces of hoof horn that are round about this, and make sure that this isn't completely underrun, that there's no double sole under there or anything lurking out of sight right now that we can't see. This does go slightly further up the wall than I thought it was going to. Noisy place again today, folks. You'll see a recurring theme in my videos. I do tell all of the tractormen to stop work while they're here, so that we can video, but they never seem to listen.
I think that bull will be back.
To be clear, I was joking about the tractorman. And yes, Graeme, I think the bull will be back. This is the place that Graeme was shocked that the bull was always here when we are. briefly of that clip. Hey! Hey! Noisy bull.
He's here every time we're here.
He lives here, Graeme.
Oh, fair point. That just makes, but I feel like every time he's here.
Yeah, you know, I feel like every time he's here, yeah, no, I get it. So this is clearly still an issue, and it is cracking up the wall. Just that little bit, it's still open a bit as well.
Hey, I saw in a comment, right, it's funny enough with this horseshoe on here, why do coos no get like shoes in their feet like horses?
Because horses are driving through their feet. So a lot of horses are either running or they used to be ploughing or whatever, so they're really driving hard through their feet. So they're putting a lot of effort through their feet. And that basically wears them down too much. So they need that extra traction and they need that protection that a horseshoe gives. Cows generally just walk everywhere, so they don't need them. If we tried to put horseshoes on cows, what would happen would be they would just overgrow, and you'd have to trim them a lot more because their feet aren't wearing down, which is why horses get trimmed about every 6 weeks. Obviously these are more commercial animals. Horses can be commercial too, but there are, for instance, on this farm there are 800 cows. So if you're trimming every one of them 8 weeks, if you're trimming every one of them 8 weeks, it would be a colossal task. Right, I'm gonna get loads of barriers in the comments now telling me I'm wrong. I'm fairly sure that's right though. So this is slightly open, as you've just seen obviously, so we'll just spray it down with iodine. We're not going to wrap it because it's not that open and it's not being affected by dermatitis. But there you have it. There's what you do when a cow has a problem with both claws. You use a horseshoe, or you get inventive. Cow 938, by the way, she was in a video where we couldn't find a problem, so we couldn't fix the problem, obviously, because if you can't find the problem, you can't fix the problem. And many people commented on it that she had a swollen shoulder. So we are back at the farm. I did speak to the farmer the same day actually, and told him that I thought it was her shoulder, but I'll be honest, I never spotted that her shoulder was swollen. It is a lot more swollen now. She started treatment for it straight away actually, the same day that we saw her. Where is she? Not you. Is it? Is it you? Yeah. So you can see here on her shoulder, it's much more pronounced now. You're alright, love. You're alright. It's much more pronounced now than it was last week. But you can see here, right on her shoulder, she's done something. The vet has seen her, and unfortunately, it's calcified. You can see it more when she's side on, look. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. It's behind her ear, but unfortunately there's not much they can do for her at all. Yeah, so in the video, I didn't spot that swollen part. I did once I watched the video back. When you, in hindsight, it's a fantastic thing, but when you're concerned with cows' feet, you're just constantly looking out for problems with cows' feet and their legs, and I just didn't see that big. Well, it wasn't quite as big as that, but it was large still. A swell on her left shoulder. We did speak to the farmer and asked him to give her Metacam or Recocam, basically an anti-inflammatory drug that's not an antibiotic, because we can't recommend anything like that. We can't recommend pain relief, obviously, because that's very simple. And the farmer has been and was giving her it anyway. But as you can see, it's not gone down at all. And it is rock hard. So it's not an abscess or anything like that. It's not something that can be drained. And unfortunately, that's the end of her career as a milking cow. So she'll go off to market, and the future's not very bright for her at all, put it that way. She looks fit and healthy apart from that though. So yeah, we definitely can't fix that, which is what we said in the video. My area of expertise stops at the ankle of a cow. I do know what that problem is. She's bashed herself or hurt herself somehow, and unfortunately it's swollen up and become calcified. So yeah, but thank you for everybody who did take the time to point out that they had seen the problem as well.